in the New World Order. I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning. Paradigm of absolute control. Do you understand? Listen, fuckhead.
Millions of audience people rising up against us. I've had enough of these people.
Stop it!
I'm so pissed. I'm angry. I'm gonna stab you with a butcher knife. And then the 15th is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so sweet.
Listen up, lads and lasses, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. That is, thank you, Parallax, from the top. I've got to say cheers for that. We've got fucking intro music, mate. This is almost semi-professional now. How does that feel?
It's quite nice, isn't it? We're getting there, mate. We're getting there.
So welcome back to another episode of Troof Seeking. This one's a war special, military war. Well, basically, I just said war, and then I don't think either of us, as typical form now, neither of us have done anything all week. So, war, yes or no?
I think it depends what side of it you're on, innit? Yeah, if you're winning, no if you're losing.
You make a very bold point. Are you a fan of war? Do you have a favourite war? Were you involved in war? Have you ever caused a war? Did you do 9/11?
The closest I've ever gotten is something that used to happen every now and then in a place called Peel Hall in Wythenshawe, which was this event called the Apple Wars, which was basically just a load of scroats grabbing handfuls of crabapple trees off the trees and dashing them in each other's faces.
I mean,
that's the closest I've gotten.
Yeah, that is warfare on a very, very small scale level. Like
local.
In our town, the brilliant town planning. So there's 3 secondary schools where I live. You've got one of them, which is the opposite end of the town, and Stan Laurel went there for like 2 months. So obviously now it's a drama college. It's been a drama college ever since. There's a listed building there because Stan Laurel. We built a fucking statue of Stan Laurel, and he lived here for like half a year or something, tops.
At least he's a real person though. Back home in just outside of Alty, I think it was in Sale. They've got a monument to Frank Sidebottom.
Who?
This guy called Frank Sidebottom. I just remember him off adverts that used to sell windows, and it's this like cartoon head on a real man. I think he's dead, the guy that played him, but he's not even a real. It's just a character someone made up.
That's fair.
So at least Stan Laurel's world known, isn't he?
That true, but no one thinks Bishop Auckland when you think Stan Laurel. But you had that secondary school at that end, and then at the other end you had my secondary school, which was where anyone who didn't go... Well, there was my secondary school, and then there was a secondary school across the road. So the secondary school across the road was Roman Catholic, so you either had to be Roman Catholic, you either had to have a sibling there, or you had to be, well, basically have money to get into that secondary school. And then my secondary school...
That doesn't go for every Roman Catholic school, though. Having money, you don't need money for them all. Just for the listeners, just so they know there. Because I went to one in it and I don't want them thinking I've got dough.
Well, everyone who couldn't go to that one, so all the council estate lot, all the travellers, we've got quite a large travelling population, they all went to the one that I went to across the road. Basically, you stuck 2 rival secondary schools across the road from each other and didn't expect bother to happen every day at the end of school.
That's mental though, innit? That shows they've got no idea at all of what would happen. All you need to do is have slightly different. Even in school, if you've got a different coloured tie on, or that you've got your tie done in a different knot somehow, people would be like, "Oh, it's us v him."
Yeah.
So to 2 different uniforms and that's maybe, man, they were priming you though, possibly priming you for making you all want to like join the military. Be like, oh, we can bring them all together if you all wear this costume here. This not costume's a terrible word. Uniform. You all wear this uniform, then you'll all be the same together. It won't matter anymore about your school tie or whatever motif is on your shirt, because we'll all be in the same. You know.
I'll be honest with you. The lads who went to my school, they're not the type you want to have fighting for you on the front lines.
Don't know, I remember you telling us that story about that. I don't know if you want to go into this, but the fella in the tree. Like,
Oh.
they'd be all right in the army.
He
Maybe a
was
specialist division.
he
but
was no he was the
not
one
him.
that got
Not-
attached to the
but-
tree.
Yeah, but the others, they could get a job surely in some form of part of the military.
You've got a very good point. Yeah, they probably could. It wouldn't. I mean, who's to say that doesn't happen? Nazi death squads for a thing.
Yeah.
So, what's your favourite war?
My favourite war. The one that I look into the most is I try and work out like what there's different ideas on like alien wars that are going on. I tried today. Well, I've tried it a few times, but I always end up with the same sort of people. It's this idea that there's the Anunnaki versus the Palladians, and the Palladians are like the light beings, and the Anunnaki are the lizard people, and they're constantly warring for the galaxy, for our galaxy, even though they're fighting from a galaxy which is set. Well, the Palladians are fighting for our galaxy, but from the Taurus star system. So that's got to be another galaxy, that the Taurus constellation. And it's just a bit of fun in it with that one. But real, like staying in the real world, I don't know if I have a real war, like a favourite war. Did you know that animals have wars?
Enlighten me.
Chimpanzees, bro.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Go on.
So there's been not experiments. What do you call it when you research? Fuck me, let myself there.
Studies.
Studies on chimpanzees on savannah, like chimpanzees that live within the savannah and chimpanzees that live within the jungle.
Yeah.
And they've learned that they take on different warfare tactics. So the ones I'm not saying like the ones in the jungle dig fucking tiger traps, but they fight with different weapons. So in the jungle, because they're more confined,
guerrilla
use,
tactics.
you got the first one in.
Yes.
Should have a little tally, man. That's what we should have going on in the Discord, a little tally system where who can get the most shit jokes in the episode.
Carry on.
In the jungles, they'll use smaller weapons, like thicker, smaller branches, and use them like we would use a mallet or a claw hammer if someone broke into your house. And whereas in the savannah, they'll rip out trees and
Barrett
fucking
50
use them
cals.
like whips. Yeah, basically, so they can hit from further away.
Barrett 50 cals and RPGs in the savannah, obviously, and then little 9 mils, few frags in the jungle.
38 in the little handbag.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I have though. I've also seen. I've watched on documentaries the way that they literally do like, and I don't want to use the pun again, but guerrilla tactics, like the way they flank enemies and like the way they chase and like manage to pounce on opponents it's exactly as you see like military units doing.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad that that's in them naturally.
Yeah.
Which it adds to that theory fucking of that we were interfered with. So say chimpanzees were supposed to be here, chimpanzees have already got that. Maybe whatever it is that is watching over us, the Watchers, be it the Palladians, the Anunnaki, maybe they were watching and going, you know what? This is shit, mate. This is fucking dull. Like we're broken down in our fucking moon base. We can't get to them, but what we can do is we can radiate them a bit and throw them some scrap metal from the spaceship and see what they do with it. And that's where we got arrowheads from and that. And then the chimpanzees were there with fucking bows and arrows. Well, just arrows. Just throwing arrows initially until one smart one ate stay smart, ate loads of fucking fungus, not knowing what it was off the ground. And then it was like, we can get these arrowheads further if we attach bits of wood to them and a bit of string as well. But then you've got to say, where did the chimpanzees start making string? Because then it means they'd have some form of loom or something, wouldn't they?
Well, either that or when they were doing all that, when they pick each other's fleas and ticks and out and shit, and they just started like rubbing the hair together and making like a twine out of the hair.
Like a daisy chain of fucking...
Of monkey hair, yeah.
Monkey hair.
That's quite an erotic thought.
Maybe. I mean, it's not for me, but...
I don't know, I saw your face there. You were slightly turned by that. You were like, you pondered in the distance into your airing cabinet.
Well, I've not got far to ponder. I looked at the pipe.
So, what about, would you fight an emu?
See, I've heard about the Emu Wars, but I don't actually know what it is because I thought you'd have a clue on this.
Yeah,
So would I
the
fight an emu? I'd give it a go. I
yeah,
think you're an idiot if you even an ostrich, mate. If someone was like, "Have a go at boxing that ostrich," you've got to. I'm not into animal cruelty, but I reckon an ostrich can hold its own.
I
You know what I mean?
reckon. I reckon no to either of those fights. I reckon if you gave me three options, you were like, fight an emu, fight an ostrich, fight Tyson Fury. I'm getting knocked out by the Gypsy King. No question about it.
Yeah,
They
it's a better
have
story, isn't it?
no. It's not about the story. It's about I would survive against the Gypsy King. I'd get knocked out, probably brain damaged. It might even fix a few things, but I'll survive. An emu, an ostrich, mate, they'll fucking kill you. No problem. Brain damage.
I wasn't thinking a wild one, innit? I was thinking one that's gone through, he's gone through a bit of training, a bit of conditioning.
He's got a
It's
license.
not going to go.
He's applied for his boxing license. He knows the rules. No
Yeah.
low blows. No fucking eye gouging.
And it stops on the bell. It's not a cheat.
I mean, you are well. Anyway, the Emu War.
Go
These lot definitely hadn't applied for any licenses. It was fought in 1932 in Australia. It was fought. The Great Emu War was fought in 1932 in Australia. It was a nuisance wildlife management military operation, also known as a failure. It happened in Australia over public
The
concern.
Australians really need to work on their acronyms, innit?
Yeah, NWMMO is it?
It's
doesn't
a
even. Yeah, it's not even a word. You can't do anything with that. Sort it out. But do ACAB. See the loony left, right? These
What's
fucking
ACAB?
loony left. They may have multicoloured hair and want autonomous zones, but they love a good fucking anagram.
The creative bastards.
Yeah, ACAB's all cops are bastards.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Yeah, well, is it fair? That's the question. Possibly not. I'm not one to decide. The jury's out. Anyway, back to Australia and the Emu Wars. Basically, they deployed soldiers with machine guns to battle an overrun emu population and lost.
Oh my god, it's coming right for us.
Yeah, they were armed with Lewis guns, the Lewis automatic machine gun or the Lewis automatic rifle.
Yeah.
Do you know the one I'm talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
Like a bit, it had like the chamber or the magazine was like on the top of the gun, like a circle almost. But yeah, they lost. While a number of the birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction. And they ended up having to back off and just give in to a set of emus. So I mean, on the World War front, emus undefeated, basically. The Floyd Mayweather of the animal kingdom.
Fucking hell.
I know. So, would you have a fleet of emus in your ideal military? What does it consist of? But right, I'm thinking, I want some leaders, like I want some generals and that from history. It doesn't have to be obviously generals, It could be, you could pick celebrities, people, blah blah blah. And I want your ideal military unit.
So I think one of the better units would be some form of terror unit. So, but not terror like they're gonna go around blowing places up. Just sex offenders, and you just release them into a city centre somewhere. But before you do it, you put posters everywhere saying, the fiddlers are coming to town, and all of these ambiguous posters that look like they're for gigs. But then you go back a few days later and start plastering the faces of these people all over the place, and you just have known sex offenders just going and terrorising like what the Vikings used to do.
So, so the Vikings were just nonsense. The Viking. Yeah.
Oh, they used to rape everyone, innit?
Well, they did do that. They did rape, pillage, rob, and burn. I'm not entirely sure what order they did that in. You'd want to hope they did the pillaging and the raping before the burning. I imagine trying to do those two bits whilst things are on fire is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, but you got to give it an edge, haven't you? I imagine if you're doing it all the time, you're going to need a little bit of added danger.
Look at Vlad, he's switched up. Oh, he's done the fire first, lads.
He's done the burning first. He's never done one of these before.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell it's his first time.
Yeah. Honestly, lads, always the class clown, right? He's always got to go one better. You do the pillaging first, he does the raping first. You do the raping first, he does the burning first. Honestly, he never learns. Someone put him out. Put him out. But
Been back on that fucking boat.
So, who would you have as your military leaders?
Military leaders. You'd want someone who's big into peace, wouldn't you?
Well, it depends if you want to have a pussy army or not.
Nah, not at all. If you have like some form of general, someone really high up who's massively into peace, you could work out exactly what would lead to a peaceful thing and then make sure that never fucking happens.
What, right,
learn all of the ideal solutions, or cultural specialists or anthropologists that are especially specialised to the areas that you're fighting in, and you find out all of the culture of that place and then do everything you can to destroy and dismantle that culture.
Some would say that we already do that to each other all the time now. If you believe in coups, if you believe in, Operation Condor, that's a real thing, where the US backed 8 of the largest nations in South America, backed government overthrows and backed assassinations of all these countries to basically assassinate each other's problems so they couldn't be tracked. So that means that happens. That's not a bad one, but I think you're behind the times. I think that already exists. Also,
I wasn't expecting to revolutionise warfare. Fucking hell, you
fucking should be. But have you ever seen The Men Who Stare at Goats? Or read the book?
No. Nah. I know what's going on in it. There's the psyop stuff.
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And the bloke at the head of that really is who you're thinking of. He's the one who was at the forefront of all those studies. Is basically your bloke who you're thinking of, who was after peace, because that was his role, was to try and create or get ahead in warfare through essentially peace, and non-violent warfare. So
psychic viewing and that, wasn't
it? That was part of it, but some of it was just like it was just like Taoist belief and shit like that, and it was applying like sort of Eastern belief systems and shit like that to warfare and to like negotiating situations, stuff like that.
Oh. Very good. Use fleas, mate. If you could figure out how to make fleas fucking either poisonous or carry it as small contagion or something, and then you had a big fucking wholesaler or something online that sells t-shirts or whatever. You sell the t-shirts, and every time it's going to the country that you're not keen on or you want to invade, or the city that you want to take over, you send them a literal flea bag. And then they wouldn't know. Yeah, even if it's just a handful of fleas on there.
We did that to the Native Americans.
Oh.
So
nothing new then, eh?
I'm not entirely sure what it was. I can't remember if it was. I don't know if it was cholera or syphilis. It was something like that. It was something like at the time that we knew was like a deadly infection, and we knew would kill him. And we, because we're British and that, you know how cool we are and dead nice and shit. So we gave out blankets, but these blankets were laced with like infected with whatever it was. I think it might have been syphilis or cholera. Those two strikers, because they're all
Cholera's
tiny.
waterborne though, innit? So the blankets would have to be damp, wouldn't they?
Well, fucking.
And then you just look like a cunt as well.
Yeah,
so like,
a soggy blanket.
Blanket. And then they're not going to be. Then they're not going to use the blanket because it's damp.
It's not an effective idea.
No.
But well, possibly syphilis. Something like that. But yeah, we did that.
Just up round the back of the knocking shop, and they're like, right, come on, dirty Derek, come here, wipe your dick on it. Good lad. Right, go on, keep him coming. Keep him coming.
One each. That's 1-1, that, mate. You can have that one. Yeah. So that again, you're not revolutionising warfare at all here.
Oh. Well, what would you do? What's yours? Where would you go with it then?
I think you're on the right lines with bugs. You've got to think the biggest killer in the world ever of anything is mosquitoes. So if you could control mosquitoes or weaponize them to only attack certain targets,
like allegedly what Zika virus is believed to have been by some people.
Hey.
Where they shoved a monkey in a cage in a jungle and started like taking its blood and going, now we know all about all of these diseases, until eventually they went, hang about, what's that one?
What's
Let's have a
this
go at that
one?
one. Let's inject that one. So let's select that one there. Yeah, bring that one out by itself. Jab that in there. Shit, look what it's done to the baby's head. That'll do.
Well, yeah, basically that. Imagine how you would. I mean, you wouldn't be able to go to the area for a long time unless you could. You would have
Release
to
a
make
bigger
it,
insect and then release a spider there. And
or you, yeah, you have to build up the chain until
Yeah.
one day, like, that's why King Kong exists. King Kong
Yeah.
exists because this is all old tech again, and they've done it, and they basically got to the part where it had to be a massive gorilla fighting whatever was there, and then now King Kong's real. But
it won. It worked.
did it win? Did it fight
Well,
Godzilla?
if King Kong's still knocking about and the other thing mustn't be because it survived the fight.
Unless
something
that other
would-
thing's Godzilla and it just fucked off.
mean-
I'm trying to find where virus massacre did colonists and give infected blankets to Native Americans. Yeah, I know we did, but it's smallpox.
Smallpox.
That's the one. I knew it began with S. Anyway, yeah. The thing you'd have to do with them, with mosquitoes, is you'd have to make sure they couldn't reproduce. Because if you could do that, they'd attack and then they'd die out at the end of their life cycle, and boom, you sorted. You can just move straight in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're always going to get some form of mutation occur, though, aren't you? Within that, there'll always be one that's like, I'm going to fucking lay some eggs here. Or they could breed with a different type of mosquito. Like, how would you just shove them all in a microwave for 5 minutes before you release them or something? Just kill 80% of them, so you're just dropping 80%, like buckets and buckets of dead mosquitoes out of a plane.
I don't know if you've ever been to like a hospital, but if people get vasectomies or like hysterectomies, that they're not put in a microwave.
And you're recommending that we do that to the larval state of a mosquito?
Yeah, pretty much. That's
Billions of them. It would take forever.
fine.
By the time you'd gotten 10 done, the first 9 are dead.
Well,
They don't live for very long.
we get fast hands on it. Then we get the people who build the iPhones. We get them to start neutering mosquitoes. Bang, sorted, job done. You only have to do half them. You only have to do the males or the females.
True. But then you could get some mule species, though, that again can't breed, but maybe then they're like, so we've got the mosquitoes with the disease that we've concocted, and then we've got these mosquitoes that have bred with them, with AIDS inside, and then you've got AIDS mixed with this new disease, and then you've got like fucking
Double power.
I think we've had super AIDS, haven't we? So it'd have to be like something like hyper AIDS.
So extra good AIDS. Extra good AIDS. Triple AIDS.
Oh,
Aye. What's your favourite gun?
favorite gun?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you had to massacre a village of innocent Vietnamese civilians, which gun would you use and why? And
Real
which
life or
which,
from
which,
films or anything?
anything. And which Vietnamese person are you killing first and why?
Off the top of my head, I don't know any Vietnamese people of interest to say, I know this guy's Vietnamese, so I wouldn't really be picky. You know, I'm not a
Ho Chi Minh was
discriminatory guy.
Vietnamese, I believe.
I don't even know who that is.
He was
know.
a leader of Vietnam, and not a too nice one, if I recall.
Well, you go for the bad guy. Well, if that's the case. But I would, gun-wise, I'd go for that fucking shoulder-mounted thing that Predator has. Freeze your hands up, doesn't it? Because that'd be that dirty in a fight, that thing. It just pops out from behind your shoulder.
That's a shout. What?
Both choking each other like that, like clocking with your left hand in each other's cheeks, and then all of a sudden, this fucking 3 dots
Shoulder
appears on his face. Yeah.
Oh,
He wouldn't even
mate.
know me.
What I've always wanted, right? I mean, I've always wanted, especially since like Jarhead. Was it Jarhead? Yeah, was it Jarhead when he was the sniper? It was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I've always wanted to shoot a 50 cal, obviously. But the gun I've always really wanted to use, if we're going any gun from anything real or not real, is do you ever shoot the cryolator on Fallout?
Yeah, it just freezes stuff.
Yeah, man, it just shoots like balls of fucking like liquid nitrogen ice or whatever it is and cryogenically freezes shit like that. That's because it looks non-violent. It's not like a super ray gun or like fire or bullets. Like, oh, it's just a snowball, bang, dead in the motherfucker.
Does a flamethrower count as a gun? Because I wouldn't mind to go on a flamethrower.
The thing is about
maybe we should do a trip and we film one episode live and do it as like an actual episode from Cambodia, from them farms you can go to where you can shoot cows in the
you
head.
can go and blow up a cow with an RPG.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. I mean, we're basically putting money in your pocket. If we shoot a bit that, like, you can get the rest and turn it into stuff after that.
Well, it's a free trip for us potentially.
Exactly. Yeah, it pays itself off. We get to do the episode. You get some free shit to work with. They obviously get money, and an RPG's involved, which is never a bad thing. Let's be honest. So war. Why? Do you think that we're actually at war? Do you think that there's other things afoot? Do you think war's a great option? To tell us.
Oh, there's a lot there to unpack, bro. Fucking war, why? Well, just to fucking try and win something or somewhere, in it's for control. It's only ever really going to be for control in one way or another.
At this
whether
point,
it's to control populations, whether it's to control trade routes, whether it's to control the general direction that the Earth itself goes in. Not like literally through space, but figuratively in culture and the way people treat each other and act, innit?
Well, one thing, especially now, we've got... Have you heard of mutually assisted destruction?
It sounds like a death metal band, but no.
It does sound like it should be written in one of those horrific, like, lightning bolt fonts that every death metal band uses on a poster, and then like a death metal festival lineup just has like 19 versions of the same sort of weird blood veins lightning bolt text of like fucked your mom, puke Viet, punch things and shit like that. Yeah. Corpse dodger, like shit like that. But mutually assisted destruction is basically like we are in a state where pretty much everyone has nukes. So if one person pressed theirs at this stage, the other person had pressed theirs, everyone would destroy each other. And the only thing stopping us from destroying each other or pressing the button is the fact that we know if any of us pressed our buttons, everyone else would press theirs and everything would blow up. So, that to me, right, we should be in the most peaceful times ever because everyone's just like, I don't need to send in any guns. I don't need to send in any tanks. I just have to press a button. Like, why are we... I know there's obviously some nations that don't have these nuclear weapons. And I think what we do now is all the countries that have got them, what we do is sort of get our war out of us. Got to get the war out, yeah? Got some new guns, got to spend that defence budget on stuff, so we've got to go and flash what we're doing. So we've got to get the wars out, but we can't have our own wars. Like, we can't go, right, I'm going to fight Russia, because we just both press our buttons. But we can go to, like, a third-party country, like, say...
Proxy war.
Syria, and we can all have, like, our fights through this other country. So we're not actually at war with each other, so we don't have to press our buttons. But this country doesn't have any buttons, and the countries that they might be fighting with, they don't have any buttons either. So we can fight through theirs, and we still get to have our little bit of war without fucking destroying the planet.
And they can still show off to one another, like, who is the more powerful.
Exactly.
Without, because if you take the nukes out of the equation, or even, like, I imagine with nukes, so you'd class, like, EMP bombs with that, wouldn't you? Because that's fucking quite... In itself, that would be quite devastating, even if you took away the nuclear warhead and just had the shockwave that comes from it.
Yeah.
If you can say, fucking, oh, look at this, we've got fucking 20,000, a unit of 20,000 fucking robotic humanoids here. They haven't got any guns or anything, but they can crush a tin of beans in less than a second, so
yeah,
we can just release them. We don't even need guns anymore.
Yeah, they've got no emotion whatsoever. They'll tear through an entire household and go from house to house to house until the battery runs out, at which point they'll solar charge and carry on doing it. Whereas a soldier has PTSD needs to
riddle.
piss, needs to take on like food. That's another question, and it's sort of the way we're headed. Is like we're gonna be at a point where we're still gonna be having wars, but there's not gonna be a human involved. We're gonna have like robot units and think about drones and that. That's what we've already got. It's gonna get to the point where we've got robot units of one side. Wars are just going to become robot wars. Literally, Craig Charles is going to become a fucking news presenter, a war reporter. He's going to be out on the front lines in like Ukraine or something.
Jacket covered in QR codes so the robots can't see him.
Yeah. Tinfoil. He's got loads of layers of tinfoil so their shit bounces off and it's just whoa. But Craig Charles is going to be there on the front lines in fucking like Ukraine at the Crimea, being like, and I'm here, robot wars, being Craig Charles, sniffing beak. I see.
It's Kilowatt. I brought him along. He's not much cop for a fight, but you know.
Yeah, not now. Now you see these robot wars, and then fucking America brings out all their Boston Dynamics shit that they've been making, proper Terminator shit, and then Russia rolls out some sort of, I don't know, uranium-powered fucking hammer and sickle, like just cast iron, huge robot thing, which I imagine Russia have got built in a forge somewhere. It's probably like fucking 500 feet tall and weighs about fucking 25,000 tons. And that's what war's going to be. And we're still going to declare victories over it, even though no humans were involved and no one's actually had a fight.
See, that makes you think, though, that war is for something else, doesn't it? Because if that does seem plausible that that's going to happen, but that does make you think that war isn't just for the domination of a country or whatever, that it's got another purpose that we've never been told about.
Well,
we're told, it's because there's bad people and because there's good people and there's people that want to kill people and there's people that want to keep the peace. But what if there's another reason that we just can't see or even comprehend?
I can give you one good reason. Defense budgets. Think about where all of our money goes every fucking year. Like us, America, Russia, China, their defense budgets are ridiculous. And
no, because if that was the case, though, that would mean that all the wars would start in March because the new budget would be coming in April. It'd be like when you do road works and you see on your street they've dug up half your road and then they don't work on it till June because they just needed to spend the last of the budget to get the next budget in. So we'd have all little wars starting and then just ending for a bit and leaving people in fucking panic.
Well, I mean, when did first lockdown start, mate? Was that March?
Oh, that was March.
Oh, right, okay. So when did the police get all of their gear to come and like fight the Rona? And when did the Nightingales appear in that? Was that March? Oh shit! I mean, with September 11th and that, you got to think that they didn't have that in March because they weren't like they didn't want to go in. They didn't want to go in straight away. You had to build the tech first. So they decided in March, right, budget, we're going to build this tech now. And then, when it's ready, around September, we're going to test it out. And so they waited. So you can't jump into them all straight away. You've got to mix the projects up. But, I mean, defence budgets are a massive thing, I reckon, because the amount of money we spend, if you're not at war, you can't justify spending it. And also, if you're not at war, then armies and shit like that have got, like, no sort of reason to have any money spent and be buying shit off, like, manufacturers. So Lockheed Martin and, like, Heckler and Koch, or whoever makes your weapons, whoever makes your planes, your helicopters, your ships, if you're not at war, those companies have no purpose, so they want you to be at war as well. So I reckon there's a degree of creating it to sustain it. So do you reckon the people that run all them businesses are like the dickheads at school that just run around going, fucking Jimmy and Jack are having a fight, when we were, Jimmy and Jack aren't having a fight, but they keep shouting it and they get enough of a crowd around and they just do that in all different countries or in different like summits and stuff, different meetings, being like, he said your missus was fat, Yeah.
Oh, did it? I'm going to go and tell his wife that he's cheating on her. And then it just starts escalating like that because one knobhead who wanted to sell a few rounds of fucking a few boxes of machine gun rounds was just being a bit of a knob.
Yeah, I reckon they go in and send people to go to countries and go, so what's the what sort of valuable resources have we got in this country? Oh, there's coltan. Oh, there's coltan, is there? Go and tell America. Yeah, not only did he say your missus was fat, but he's got loads of coltan over there. Imagine how many iPhones you can make with that. Boom.
He said he can sell his diamonds without giving you a cut.
Yeah.
And he said he'd fucked your sister.
Yeah. And that's exactly what that is. I think we're starting to find a common theme with this show, and I'm hoping it doesn't get us shut down. That a lot of things appear to be for money.
Well, I would imagine so. Everything needs it, though, doesn't it, realistically? Not to the extent that it's taken, but everything does need it.
It seems to be that things are either money or, on some degree, with some of them, religion's a big thing. And like you said, culture's a big thing. Ways of life are a massive thing. We've found that when you wade into countries and try and separate shit like we did with Palestine and Israel, like we also did in Africa, which was...
And in India. Didn't we just go into India when it was massive and go, whoa, this part here, we can't be arsed going any further. They're fucking... It's a bit dangerous that way. New border here.
New border.
Didn't they then say, well, they moved countries. I can't remember what country it was.
So
but they were just like, we're just going to close these two off.
Pakistan, India, Kashmir. We created Kashmir and basically went, I can't remember if it's is it Muslims and Hindus? I believe it's Muslims and Hindus, or it was Sikhs and Hindus. Whichever two, not big fans of each other. Not big fans at all. And we basically said that like a bunch of one side had to move out in order to create some sort of like segregated peace. But where they had to move to, like Kashmiri region, they had to travel through hundreds and possibly thousands of miles of the other side, and most ended up raped, attacked, dead on the way. So we've done that in India to a very bad end. We also did it in Africa. We carved up Africa and went created straight lines where you could never have straight lines. The Congo, that was a bad time. That was a very bad time.
Wasn't the Congo owned by 4 different countries at one point? Like you had the French Congo, the Dutch Congo, the Belgian Congo.
Yeah.
Is it?
You had, I think that's about right. You had a few, and then you had Belgium owning it as the Central African Republic. And I don't know if you've ever looked into King Leopold II of Belgium, but he is in the running for being one of the most evil cunts of all time. Oh. So he got into the whole colonization game when most of the people were wrapping up. Like even we were stopping colonizing. Like we were starting to we were giving countries back at this point already, and he thought that to be recognised as a king properly and taken seriously, you had to have a colony. So he decided to colonise the Congo, Central African Republic, whatever you want to call it, and he completely obliterated the country and brutalised the people for his entire rule there. The biggest export from there was rubber, which was massive at the time. He stuck a quota on...
Might bounce back though, you know. Might make a return.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's 2.
So he stuck a quota on each person's head for the population of the Congo for rubber. So if you didn't bring in as much rubber as required per head per day, you had a limb severed. Okay. So if quotas were...
Visit that.
So wait there, it gets fucking worse. So his crack was, if there's not rubber, I want equal to that in limbs. And that was checked. Not kidding. Mad. That was checked. Also what was checked was bullets. So his soldiers, every bullet had to be accounted for. So if you shot someone, you chop their fucking hands off and bring it back. You've got to think, people missed with bullets. So if you let off a few rounds, say you just like fired some in the air, or you missed, you kill an innocent person to take their hands, so you meet your quota, because you're not going to miss your quota, otherwise you get fucked. So that was brutal. He also, I mean, there was mass rape. He obviously took all the resources in the country, and when they ended up being taken to whatever court it was for it, there was actually like some sort of case over this. Even the Brits, who were horrible cunts during our time of colonisation, even us and like the Spaniards and that turned around and went, "Here, yous went too far. Like, yous went a little bit too far." King Leopold's a right evil bastard. If you've ever got time, there's a couple of good videos of him on YouTube if you want to get a brief look. There's a channel called Biographics. He's done biographical video on him. It's about 25 minutes long. It's good, but it's very dark. He was a cunt. Complete cunt.
Do you not think it makes sense, though, for the British and the Spanish to be going, "Oh, he's a dickhead, him. Look how naughty he is. Look what he's doing here. Pack it in, you. You shouldn't have been doing that. That was awful." Because Leopold would then be the most recent example in history of it. So they might have been thinking, if we can make everyone look at him, we make him out to look like he's fucking demented, people will look at us like we were the good ones.
Nah,
do you not think?
I don't think it was like that. I know what you're saying, and that is understandable. But from my knowledge, he definitely set a new high score on the level of how much of a cunt you can be. He was
weighing in the old bullets as well, just to make himself an extra couple of quid.
I wouldn't be surprised. It was such a tyrannical regime, mate. Like, ridiculous. And he was a very horrible... There's a lot more than I can remember as well. And it's going to do me head in.
Nipping back to robots, though, we mentioned robots before and I never managed to get it in. I was listening to a talk from Linda Moulton a good few months ago.
Who's
she? She's let's say, broadly we'll call her a ufologist, but she's into the whole alternative history kind of thing, and there's portals in mountains and stuff like that. But one of the things she was talking about is I think actually happened. I managed to find a news article on it. And then when we looked for it again a couple of weeks later, I couldn't find it. But there was a laboratory, I think it was in Japan, where they built, I think it was 4 robots, like humanoid-style robots, and they were armed, and they were linked up with a satellite and to keep them, attuned to each other so they could communicate amongst themselves. And then they deactivated one of them because they realised that what they'd done was quite dangerous. And after they deactivated one of them, the other 3 got this signal back that what had been done to that one, and they recalibrated themselves in order to be able to defend themselves. And I think they killed about a dozen people in the factory, in the laboratory where they were made.
Where was
and
this?
It took a long time for them to get shut down. I think it was in Japan, but I may be wrong.
Who did that? I didn't hear.
I can't remember. Oh, there was just no. This was I remember hearing Linda Moulton talking about it, but she had nothing to do with it. She was just sort of reporting on it on YouTube, but. I can't remember who did it.
I'd like to look into this afterwards, because that shit like that, because that's the next step, and you've got to think most countries that are that are advanced, like us, America, Japan, China, Russia, we've all got to be on the forefront of that. And mistakes obviously happen along the way, and it's interesting to learn about shit like that. I'd like to know how many
one
people
of them
have been
took
killed.
a gun from one of the security officers.
Well,
that was how it went to defend itself in a sort of human way, because it could obviously they'd only programmed it so far. Like, it wasn't supposed to have like defensive capabilities as such.
But how unless I suppose it depends on the strength of the AI, but how would it know to develop something that it was never taught how to learn?
Well, I don't know. Well, that's the thing. It just used what it had been exposed to. It had been exposed to seeing security guards using guns and holding guns. So it retaliated in that way, because realistically thinking about it, I imagine even if it was a cumbersome robot, it could still fucking give you a dig or break your leg. Like, it could do it with its own hands or whatever, realistically. It wouldn't have to go for a firearm, you wouldn't think.
No, it just fucking rip your limb from limb.
Yeah.
No problem. Hydraulic pressure would absolutely kill you. So, video games. Do you reckon they lead to? Do you reckon they're sort of programming to get us used to warfare and to encourage us that warfare's good? Did you ever want to wipe out an airport full of Russians after doing that mission on Modern Warfare? Please discuss.
Not Russians, but you'd probably give it a go, wouldn't you? Be one of them.
If you had to wipe out
bucket list job.
If you had to wipe out an airport, which one would it be?
Which airport would it be?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I know mine.
Go on, I'll let you answer that one. I'm going to stay well away from.
Really? Mine's simple. I can't piss many people off. It's Teesside Airport. It's fucking shite. Yeah, it would. It'd get wiped out just because it's shit. It's not big. It's not important, and that's why it's got to go. Also, it gives people from Teesside a reason to brag and a reason to think that like where they're from is a good place because they say they have an airport. It's not
about having an airport.
It's
My
not,
town's got an airport. Who does that?
People from Borough, Stockton, and the Teesside area, because there's not much else there apart from, people that look terminally ill at all times, whether healthy or not. So they're the sort of people who brag about an airport, and they shouldn't be able to brag about anything but the creation of the Parmo. So I would wipe Teesside Airport off the face of the planet. It wouldn't be a terrorist attack. It wouldn't be in the name of like Allah or communism or white power. It would be town planning, if anything. Like, it'd be better
just to try and get your name on a bench somewhere.
No, to save people flying back from holiday from having to land in Middlesbrough. Because imagine that. Imagine even if you've been somewhere like not mint, even if you've just been like to Tenerife with the lads for a week. You're like, oh, it's a pretty good holiday. And then you land in Middlesbrough. Like, that's a shock to the system. Imagine you just spent weeks walking and hitchhiking and sneaking in lorries on your way from, like, Damascus in Syria because they've been war-torn where you live and you've just brought your family and you end up managing to sneak in a stowaway on a plane and that plane lands at Teesside Airport.
And they're just climbing back on, trying to get back.
Lad, I'd dive in the North Sea and swim back to Syria. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. But I think you dodged that question. And I there's one question I'm not going to let you dodge. We're going to come back to it. You have to pick a general. I want a general for your army.
Okay.
I want a leader from someone we may know. It doesn't have to be a military figure. I mean, for the purposes of comedy, it would be better if it wasn't. But I want a military leader. What you think they bring to the table?
You want someone who gets people going, don't you? But ideally, you want someone who's going to get people going who are somewhat expendable. So to consider someone expendable, you would maybe say the older generations, like say sort of, should we say 70 and up, would be somewhat expendable as a military force, very expendable as a military force. So let's have Noel Edmonds. I'd happily see Noel go. He could get him going. He'd be like, fucking, what's in the box? Is it a bomb? Is it a bag of pennies with a bomb?
Is it a Werther's original with a bomb? I mean, your logic's sound with regards to your Pied Piper theory of getting Noel Edmonds to be the leader of them, but I do question the effectiveness of your 70+ brigade of people, unless your plan is to like clog up areas like they do in supermarkets where they just stand in the middle of the fucking island with a trolley. Honestly, I nearly knocked out at least 6 pensioners in fucking Sainsbury's yesterday. I only went to get some dried chilies. I went to get some ancho chilies, some chipotle chilies, and like just stopping in the middle of the aisle, trolley across the aisle, fucking horizontally. Well, you're not going to put a trolley vertical. She wasn't wheeling it, but like
carrying it above her head. Are you all right, love?
Strong man.
Is everything okay at home?
Why have you got a trolley if you're going to carry it above your head? Just carry the shopping. But just stopping and like wonder. They're the sort of people that complain when they get hit by trolleys. They don't get hit by trolleys enough. So unless you're planning to deploy units that essentially are just clogging up areas and making it difficult for your opponent to get through, I wouldn't suggest using the over 70s. You were right about expendable. Past militaries, every good empire has used expendable by like sort of class. and has used the working class or the poor, the slaves, the serfs, that sort, to fight their wars. So you're along the right lines, but
But we need a general then, so you're not going to accept Noel as a general.
Me personally, if Noel Edmonds tried to fucking tell me to do anything, he'd get a slap.
Yeah, I know, but he's got a certain way with a certain age bracket, man.
He does.
That's
I
what
just
we need,
put it this way, right? I would fight your age bracket, your unit,
But just on your own.
Yeah, and I think I'd win because, like, I'll just jog bits, and then when they catch up, it'll be like it's a steady stream. You just got to bob and weave, throw through 1-2s, a few uppercuts, and a few leg kicks. Jesus Christ! If you throw a leg kick against half those over 70s, you're putting hips out.
Mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Either that, or you're kicking already replaced titanium legs, and then you're fucked.
There you go,
really.
mate. Breaking your toes there.
They are
Like a kamikaze team, somewhat.
yeah.
The adamantium.
Mate, if this, do you know
That's
what?
the closest we'll get to Wolverine, bro.
No, you've solved something. You've solved something, and it wasn't intentional. And I'm not sure I'm going to be liked for this, but here is how.
Don't be putting words in my mouth.
Here
and
is
saying,
how.
I don't think I'll be liked for this, but this is what you've said.
Hear me out. So, suicide bombing. It's a very effective tactic in warfare. It's proved very well. One of the reasons that we're so against it is it takes the lives of so many misunderstood, lost youths who were just looking for their purpose in life. Religion reached out to them. They were manipulated by very clever talkers. Their young minds were twisted, and they were told, look, we'll give you a purpose. The God is your purpose, or this is your purpose. You're going to die for your purpose, and then that makes you great. You're a martyr and all this shit. So my idea to you, suicide bombers, but old people. Because, right, imagine if the Al-Qaeda was sending like 70 plus people who would spend their whole lives being able to learn. You couldn't say, oh, it wasn't some disenfranchised, disillusioned youth. It was some fucking 70 plus year old gadgy. He's lived a life.
With dementia.
No. Well, I'm coming to that bit. Like, he's spent 30 years working. He's done a lot of thinking. He knows where he's going in life. He knows what he wants. Like, he's already lived all this. There's definitely no questions as to whether he was sound of mind. He's done life. And then, like, there's none of that. There's none of, like, oh, it was a life too young. Also, the roads are safer because it's one old age pensioner with a license off the fucking road. The supermarkets are freer. Pensions. What do you mean? Who needs a pension? You're going to turn up and be a suicide bomber.
Post office as well.
And
with everyone working from home at the minute, and they're pushing, have your own business.
The economy would be thriving. No one leeching on the top end of the economy, just ripping fucking benefits off, just to basically keep them alive and keep UK TV
they'd have
on.
as big of an impact as suicide bombers, though old people may have as big of an impact as like morbidly obese people. Because a morbidly obese person, if you blow them up, that's a lot of fat. It's just going to burn away. Old people, mate, they've got a lot of skin.
Yeah.
The skin might not just burn away. The skin will just fucking flick around.
Well, you've one positive with using fat people is if you set fire to fat, it essentially just becomes napalm. So if you use obese people, what you've got there is suicide napalm bombs, and that's a level up. The only thing with a suicide bomber, a massive person, is they can be seen from far away. They'll take a while to reach their target, and you're going to need more material for the bomb itself.
And as the shirt starts to show all the sweat patches as well, you'd see the wires poking through on the shirt when it starts hugging the shirt.
Yeah, you've also got to think, like, it could detonate just from, like, a titty or from a fat roll. They could just trigger it by accident and snap a wire. However, the downside to using the elderly is, like you said, it's dementia and Alzheimer's, and they could walk into the wrong target. You'll be like, look, you've got to go and bomb that school. We need you to bomb that school. And we send them walking, and they go walking, and they forget halfway. And then, what's across the road? Oh, it's a garden centre. Old people
Roman Catholic school.
Old people love garden centres. Let's go in the garden centre. And then bang, fucking focus is blown up. Absolutely unnecessary.
Hobbyists dead everywhere.
Cacti all over the place. Trellis as far as the eye can see. School, fine. Absolutely fine. And there'll just be like a spate of garden centres blown up across like your target area. So that is a problem, I suppose. But we've got to iron out the issues. But I do believe we're onto something. Now, we're closing in. We've got 4 minutes. We've smashed this, mate. I think we've got to the bottom of war. Do you have any tips for war going forward? What do you think war's plans are for 2021?
I think it's took a bit of a back foot this year. It's been a bit of it's been outshone, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it might want to make a return. And you've got to remember as well all the stock footage that the news uses as well. This has given them a break from it, so they can bring back all the stuff from the early 2000s realistically now.
You've got to think a lot of millennials haven't. I tell you what, a lot of millennials haven't seen that early 90s Gulf War stuff the first time round. So you can bring that back. Get that out the archives. But I think 2021 war, it needs to have a resurgence. It has, like you say, it's been very much drowned out this year. There's been no talk of it. It's almost as if like militaries have stayed inside as well. It's like war has taken health advice, which and I thought it was beyond, to be honest.
But does that not add to the idea where I said before that there must be something else to do with war? Like you've got the mentalists, the alien people that believe that it's only so that they can harvest the negative emotions and stuff of it. But what if that's just a simplification of what's going on? There may be another reason, and that's why it seems to have taken a bit of a step back at the minute. Because they're getting the misery or whatever else it is, or whatever it actually is, the thing that war causes or allows to happen. COVID may be allowing that to happen, I
think some of it is what you came to at the start, which is terror. I think there always needs to be that fear, and there's been a fear this year from something else. They've used something else. You think about the war on terror, a war on a word, on an idea, which is not possible. The war on drugs. I have never seen a soldier shooting a kilogram of cocaine. Never seen it, never once. But those things generate fear. Wars, whether violent or not, although all of those wars are violent, the war on terror is violent. The war on drugs is violent. And that's pretty much fucking all it is, because it isn't very fucking fruitful or positive. Anyway.
But it all takes you back to Werner von Braun, though, doesn't it? That was his concept, the concept that he brought over to America. Have a constant sort of invisible enemy kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's exactly what the Cold War was all about.
That was part of it, though.
Yeah.
And then there's supposed to be after the meteorite that's supposed to happen, then there's supposed to be like a uprising again of the Reds, I think he called it, which is ambiguous. Could be China, could be Russia, it could be Canada. They're red.
They are.
Yeah.
It could be Brits that have been on holiday. They're very red. Yeah. But
Scottish summer.
Exactly.
The war on Scottish summers.
The 3-day Scottish summer. It's definitely keeping. It's how we govern now. It's how governments work, especially in the West, but also probably in Russia and China as well. And it is governing through a constant fear of something. You don't have to see that something. You just have to be told that it's there, and you have to be fed a narrative that supports it. There never has to really be any truth that it exists. Just the theory that it could possibly, and it could affect you. Because if you make it out so it could only affect someone else, you don't care. It relates to journalism, which like I know a bit about. And in journalism, like there was a study into what we call news values. So the things that make news newsworthy and the things that gauge public attention. And it comes from like proximity. How close is it to you? Time frame. Is it close to this time? Is it now? Human interest. Personal. So the more it's related to you or people you know and it's happening on your doorstep and it's happening now, the more likely going to be scared, the more likely people are going to listen, the more likely people are going to pay attention and follow what you're saying, because they're going to look up to some figure of authority to get them out of that situation. You need to make your population feel that you're the only person that can get them out of a problem that they don't understand and they don't even see. And the fact that they don't see it and they don't understand it makes it worse for them, and it makes you more so the only person that can get them out of it. It's pretty fucking clever.
It's weird, isn't it, though, that if all that was to work like perfectly even one time, that would genuinely bring people together.
Yeah, but instead, what happens?
In fear of one thing rather than two sides to it all.
Yeah, and we've seen it in instances, and the last time it did happen was like World War II, but that was a real enemy. But we've done it since with the war on terror. It worked to some degree. Like we hate Muslims, like the country for a massive part hates it. We moved on from disliking black people for a very long time to hating Muslims, and that was all done, whether we like it or not, through our government and their want to have war. We've got to shoot because it's Chodes on next, so I feel we've got to wrap it up. Yeah,
I feel like we need a little happier note there.
No. So, what positive could we say about war?
Fucking, I have no idea, bro.
Fantastic. So
It's it's around to stay. I think there'll probably be a lot more of it in the future.
It's back.
There'll be people with an interest in it, going back through history.
I tell you what,
there'll always be one around.
I tell you what, for anyone that's having issues in the job market at the moment, there's always the army. We're always killing each other. So if Rishi and everyone, Rishi Sunak and everyone's just fucked you over in your business and you're stuck in lockdown and you've built everything and now it's falling apart because you've got no money and you can't work, go and shoot some folk. Do it for your country. It'll be dead sound. This has been Troof Seeking. I've been Conspiracy Jim.
I've been Tinfoil John.
Hey!
You got it right, me.
On that note, I'll see you later. It's been a pleasure. Ciao.